It's new for 2020.
This is the Mike DJ Kelly podcast.
Sound excited.
This is the Mike Kelly podcast.
Mike Kelly.
Let's crack on, let's ramp it up, stay alert as it's another fun-filled, action-packed audio adventure where we continue to look on the bright side with the short of and short. It is the shabby-haired Mike DJ Kelly podcast show. Climb on board as we take conga-style a look at what's been going on in the news and on social media, with our slightly grim northern twist to it. Let's press on with a sunny, bright yellow coloured edition
on this week's podcast,
featuring competitions, Pam Ayres, Dean Martin's house, Kellogg's Motorbility scooters, Bailey the dog, hair, Britbox, male trees, and a whole lot more. No slagging off the radio this week.
This is the short of and short Mike Kelly podcast.
Spotted on Twitter this week at Pam Ayres, at last we have the cure for all. Ailments large and ailments small. Good health is not beyond my reach if I inject myself with bleach. Radiant, I'll prance along, every trace of limescale gone. With disinfectant as my friend, like him, I'm clean around the bend. Warning, household cleaning products are not medicines and should not be taken as such. Rachel Stubbings on Twitter says, for the first time in history, single people are having less sex than their friends who are married. And the final one for now from Alice Cooper. Well, we got no choice. Gov Cooper announces schools will remain closed throughout the summer.
Is that true?
Did you see Tipping Point TV show where the smartly dressed contestant, Tom the Vicar, did not get the whole lot bigger, whole lot better jackpot count out? When asked by Ben, he took the gamble and went for all or nothing where there's extra 3 counters. Is this the sort of gambling lifestyle we should expect from a vicar? Anyway, he won 10k. I suspect somebody was keeping an eye on him from above.
This is the Mike Kelly podcast.
More Coronation Street related things on ITV. First, Easter seems to be late running this year in the fictional soap. And secondly, did I really see Ken Barlow challenge someone to a sword fight in the nursing home? A sword fight duel in 2020? Anyway, I thought they had bigger issues at the moment. Currently on ITV, they are advertising Britbox, a subscription service selling ITV and BBC programmes to you. Is this allowed? Surely, as a licence payer, I've already paid to see at least the BBC shows that are involved without any further payments. If you want to get in touch about anything to do with the Short of and Short podcast show, please use either of the following to contact us. Or if you want to send your own stories for the next episode, email cuttings or sound clips to email hello@mikedjkelly.co.uk, on Twitter at Mike Kelly Disco. If you want to be alerted to future podcasts, give a wave to Mike DJ Kelly Podcast on Messenger or subscribe when you download.
Golly gosh.
At the weekend, I walked the dog in the business part of the city centre, and since the start of the lockdown, the streets have been deserted without the usual parked cars that are there at 8 a.m. on a Sunday morning. But for the last 2 weeks, the roads have been full of cars, but the hotels and businesses are still closed. It's all very puzzling. Also, went out self-distancing, saw a guy in a t-shirt and shorts on a souped-up Motorbility scooter travelling at high speed. Did think he should be wearing leathers and a crash helmet in case he lost control. Disappointed that Kellogg's have stolen Plastic Bertrand and Ça Plat Pour Moi to advertise their products. It should be against the law to allow the stealing of good songs to advertise things. Maybe they could be forced to use songs by Justin Bieber, Harry Styles or One Direction and leave the rest of the good stuff alone. Guess the celebrity, born in Prestatyn in Wales on the 31st of May 1938. In his youth he failed the 11+ exam entrance examination for grammar school, but went on to graduate from Ruskin College and the University of Hull. A former ship steward and trade union activist, by the 1990s he was presented as the political link to the working class in a Labour Party increasingly led by modernising middle-class professionals. Who is he? When, oh when, did somebody switch the May Day holiday to become a VE day off? I don't remember any discussion about it. Talking of holidays, a holiday home that's up for sale. I first noticed it when it said on Twitter, Dean Martin's former Lytham St Anne's home up for sale. I thought, wow, never knew he lived there. But then it turned out hundreds of people were speculating who could have lived in this very strange, some would say ugly, £600,000 house that included its own section of beach. Speculation was rife to who owned it, from a 70s TV comedian, darts player, Dean Martin, or local entrepreneur. Lorno on Twitter said, I came from a village a few miles away from this house, and NGL, not gonna lie, I have personally seen very similar stuff in the area. This is definitely a St Anne's house masquerading as a Lytham house, though Lytham people would not be caught dead with those carpets.
This is the Shorter Than Short Mike Kelly podcast.
On the hair front, last time I touched on this, I said people on TV should be starting to look a bit dishevelled and put Peston in the lead. But now Bojo is back, it's hard to see anybody else in the running. Even Heseltine is looking tidy by comparison. And talking of dishevelled hair, Milton Jones on Twitter just tuned in to Blue Peter again and still don't like the new format. Presenters too gloomy, and why do they have to stand behind lecterns? Nice to see that Bailey the dog is the assistant head of seagulls at Sydney Harbour.
Golly gosh.
I see the government is not appearing on Channel 4 News or Good Morning Britain to teach them a lesson, and is getting upset with the Beeb for its panorama show. Bit of luck, we'll not be seeing any of them on any channel soon if they ban enough of them. Okay, competition time. What song are these lines from? Whatever happened to Leon Trotsky? He's got an ice pick that made his ears burn. Name the song or the artiste. Whatever happened to Leon Trotsky? He got an ice pick that made his ears burn. Name the song or the artiste. Today's do-gooders are the Forget-Me-Not Children's Hospice at forgetmenotchild.co.uk. Our vision is to deliver pioneering care through pregnancy, childhood and loss whenever families need us, whatever their futures hold. It was obvious to us that parents can face difficult news much earlier than children's hospices have ever handled before, so we set up a service to support families during pregnancy and birth. No one else is doing what we're doing to our scale. It's so different, we've been invited to talk about it at international conferences. If you want to donate, organise events, you can find out more at forgetmenotchild.co.uk.
This is the Mike Kelly podcast.
JP Devlin on Twitter, feeling left out as I must be one of the only people in the country who hasn't yet been on a Zoom meeting. I was tempted to have a go at Zoom. I thought about signing up to Zoom, but the T's and C's are just so long, I lost the will to live. I'm guessing most of you who use Zoom didn't read them. When Keir Starmer is being interviewed on the telly, why is he always stood on a path next to them trees? Are they just round the corner from where he lives? On Homes in the Sun or Escape to the Country, quite often the buyer will say, I want a big kitchen as I like entertaining. Is it me? You do not need a large kitchen to entertain. We only have a small one, but have cooked for 12. Restaurants only have small kitchens if you look at the size of the crowd they are catering for. When out shopping, and we are limited to the number of items you can buy at the supermarket, like a maximum of 3 tins of tomatoes and 2 bags of flour, this means that you have to go to the supermarket more frequently, therefore increasing your risk of catching something.
Golly gosh.
Spotted on Twitter this week, Tony Blackburn. Fact, ballerinas wear tights so they don't stick to the floor when doing the splits. Lisa Holsworth says, what's your lockdown drink? It turns out mine is cheap rosé somebody brought to a party with rhubarb tonic water over ice. Also on Twitter, Simon Lord, food retailer. At the end of all this, the population will fall into 2 categories. The furloughed, rested, tanned, immaculate gardens, clean cars, houses cleaned. Or key workers, bags under the eyes, too big for Ryanair to carry, pale skin, car filthy, house messy, overgrown gardens. I'm the latter. If you want to get in touch about anything to do with the Shorter Than Short podcast show, please use either of the following to contact us. Email hello@mikedjkelly.co.uk or on Twitter @MikeKellyDisco. If you want to be alerted to future podcasts, give a wave to Mike DJ Kelly Podcast on Messenger or subscribe when you download.
This is the Shorter Than Short Mike Kelly podcast.
They say worldwide tourism will be down for the next so many years, and the UK will miss out on billions from overseas visitors coming to the UK. Well, is that correct? Or will we in the UK not go abroad and stay in our own country and spend our money and conga here at home? On the same lines, BA and Virgin are already laying off large parts of their workforces and axing their Gatwick connections, as they do not think we will be flying anywhere anytime soon. Wonder if the extra runway will still be being built. As can be seen by the pictures of the Aer Lingus flight going around, social distancing does not appear to be possible on planes. Maybe if they had shut flights down earlier or tested those flying or ferrying in, we could have kept the UK a coronavirus-free island. To pile on the gloom, maybe if we had more family-owned big businesses rather than shareholder-for-profit type investments, more businesses would try to hold on to their staff and make a go of it.
This is the Mike Kelly Podcast.
Coming next this evening on Channel 4, it's the 7 o'clock Channel 4 News with Jon Snow. Just in case there's not notice, this broadcast is coming from our new headquarters in Leeds. That'll do nicely for the continuity demo. Male trees can cause allergies. I've seen it somewhere, but I cannot find it now. The story said something along the lines of male trees are easier to grow, but can cause allergies. And because they're easier to grow, most trees are male. Female trees do not cause allergies, but there are not so many of them because they are harder to grow. Who knew? How do you tell the difference? Did I read it, or is it a weird lockdown dream? And the late news, nice to know shoplifting stats are down while we're in lockdown and the shops are shut. Is it true Bojo's latest speech was pre-recorded, so we didn't actually have to wait until Sunday? It could have been played to us a couple of days earlier. Interesting that the call with the rest of government to discuss what was going to be in the speech was made after the recording had been made.
This is the Shorter Than Short Mike Kelly podcast.
What's this about doing away with Saturday post deliveries? Last time they messed around with the post, they introduced first class post and made what was a first class system second class.
Is that true?
Now that we have all these long-running soaps and dramas on TV, have they ever shown an episode in the wrong order? They must have. It must have happened somewhere. Just because someone is rich and famous, it does not mean they are any more important or any more intelligent than what you or I am. If you want to get in touch with this top-rated, much-listened-to podcast, please contact email hello@mikedjkelly.co.uk. Twitter, we're at Mike Kelly Disco. Indeed, if you want a podcast making for your business voiceover or any help with radio producer or presentation work, please get in touch. You can always get the Mike DJ Kelly podcast by going to iTunes or Spotify and searching Mike DJ Kelly, or you could fill your lockdown time by sending a text to your friends and telling them about the Shorter Than Short podcast. Quotes and cuts from this show may be used, but remember all material has to be got from somewhere, and somebody has to put effort into getting that to you. Please do credit us. Okay, it's time to go. Guess the celebrity. Born in Prestatyn in Wales on the 31st of May 1938. In his youth he failed the 11+ entrance examination for grammar school, but went on to graduate from Ruskin College and the University of Hull. A former ship steward and trade union activist. Who is he? John Leslie Prescott, Baron Prescott. What song are these lines from? Whatever happened to Leon Trotsky? He got an ice pick that made his ears burn. It was the Stranglers and No More Heroes. R.I.P. Dave Greenfield. That's enough for this edition of the Crazy Shorter Than Short Shabby podcast show. From me, Mike Kelly, thank you for listening. Please take care out there. And remember, you can always find the podcast by searching or shouting Mike DJ Kelly Podcast.
It's new for 2020.
This is the Mike DJ Kelly podcast.
Sounding excited.
This is the Mike Kelly podcast.
Mike Kelly.